It's my honor, as I said earlier, it's my privilege to introduce you to Mr. Tucker Carlson. Please give him a standing round as he comes in.
Welcome to the team! Welcome to the team! Welcome to the team!
Thank you, gentlemen. I need this set up at home. I feel so affirmed when the sparks fly up and the band plays. I can't tell you how happy I am to be here. This is like my favorite state. I married a woman from Michigan 32 years ago. You're married to a woman from Michigan too. Yeah! Those of you who've married women from Michigan know, highly recommended. And so I have been in and out of the state, well, for 40 years, the 40 years I've been with her. And it's just wonderful. I always gain several pounds. I eat too much. I eat like an animal in Michigan for some reason. But I love it. It's beautiful. The people are kind. It's one of the coolest states to drive around. Wherever you stop, people are nice to you. It's sort of like my house. It's unbelievable. But every time I come here, I think to myself, who runs this place and who votes for them? No, I'm serious. I've never met, and it's not like I come to Michigan and hang around with people who share my political views. Most people I talk to in Michigan, we don't talk politics, ever. Mostly we talk fishing, which is excellent here, by the way. Ice fishing and open water fishing. But anyway, I don't think I've ever met anybody in the state of Michigan who would vote for Gretchen Whitmer. So, like, how did that happen? No, and I'm not making a partisan point. I'm just making a very kind of straightforward, non-political point. If you're running a state and people are leaving, then you are by definition failing. Or am I missing something? Is there another definition? If you run a restaurant and no one wants to eat there, maybe it's not a very good restaurant. It's not the food's fault, it's how you're preparing it, right? So how did that happen? And every time I come here, I ask the same question, like, who's voting for these people? This is a true story. Last summer, we were in suburban Detroit, where my wife grew up, staying with her aunt. And I went into Greektown to do my show. And everyone always, makes fun of Detroit, city of Detroit. And so I just asked every single person I met in Detroit. I was there for like 6 hours. Wanted out to get something to eat. Like, did you vote for Gretchen Whitmer? No. I mean, maybe they all did and wouldn't admit it. But it does raise the question, like, how does this happen? How do you take something great with great people, great natural resources, great human resources, and make it so crummy that everyone wants to move to Fort Lauderdale? Huh? And it's interesting, I've been brooding about this all week. I landed yesterday from Argentina, which reminds me a lot of Michigan, in that it has everything going for it. It's a beautiful place with smart people, excellent food, and like Michigan, it has a net outflow of people. Like, people are from there, they love it, but their kids have to leave because there's no opportunity there. And the answer is the same in Argentina and Michigan: terrible leadership. The people in charge are so incompetent that, and I'm not saying in Argentina they would prevent you from buying house paint to stop the spread of a virus. I mean, they're not that insane. Though you do get a tax break for being transgender, literally in Argentina, in the same way that your governor wants to criminalize calling people by their correct gender. So there's the fundamental American woke academic craziness. But in some ways, that's just a distraction from the core issue, which is, are you running things well? I mean, there are all the ideological debates we have, but in the end, if people can't make a living and there's no promise of a future for their children, then by definition you are a failure. And I think it's impossible to defend a record like that. You can't, I mean, there's no argument. You can, jump up and down and scream about trans rights, or you can, like your attorney general, who's truly a lunatic, by the way, truly a lunatic. You can just throw people in prison when they disagree with you, which she's in the process of doing, as you know. But in the end, you can't win the argument. No one's eating at your restaurant. Like, you are a failure. So how are you still there? Well, there's really only one way, and that's by capturing the system that puts people there. And the state of Michigan, I have no doubt, as there are in many blue states, there's a massive amount of fraud. There always is. Anyone who claims there isn't hasn't covered campaigns. I covered campaigns for over 20 years. Trust me, there's fraud. But I think the most insidious fraud is the kind that you see right in front of you, where public employees are paid to tip the scales in favor of the party that pays them with your tax dollars. Like, that's fraud. That's illegitimate. That's not democracy. You can't pay unionized teachers to vote for you. But that's what they do.